Hello, hello. Welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast, episode 222. I don't know why I like that. I like numbers in a row and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for joining us. What are we talking about tonight? New York City Uber drivers make more than EMTs, which is
crazy,
absurd. And then DoorDash and Lyft start working together, but it's not what you think. That's clickbait. That's what you do in showbiz. You clickbait. Try to get those downloads. So Larry, and of course we have Faith. Faith has been a faithful listener for a while, and she's in our Telegram group. And if you hear someone's talking about when someone that gets free Amazon routes, this is the gal. I was like, damn it, you got to come on. I gotta hear this story. So before we jump into all that, I want to thank our Patreon members, Samson, Bud, Steve, Omar, Delivery Cats, Frank, Jamie, Tom, Jim, Miguel, Linda, and our new member, Jerry. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/thegigecon podcast, and you get a free 7-day trial. You get to listen to whatever you want for that 7 days. And if you hate it and just want out of it, just cancel it and you won't be charged. But we think you'll like it. So yeah, give us a try. Also, before we talk about the Telegram group, want to really start pushing TikTok. So if you are listening to this and you are on TikTok, I mean, who isn't, I guess? I know a lot of people that aren't. Just go hit us a follow. It's the Gig Economy Podcast. I'm trying to post stuff on there. And then just in general, if you see anything that we post, which I don't post a ton, just like it and share it if you feel like you want to. No, I don't care if you don't want to. Just
do it anyway. Just do it.
Do it. That's what creators want most is shares and likes. Like, I know it sounds silly, but like that, bumps us up a little bit in the algorithm and makes more people listen to the show. And that's what we want. But Larry, why don't you tell us about Telegram, where Faith likes to tell us about the free routes you get?
Exactly. So our Telegram group's the way we communicate. We have a group of gig workers all across the country, even around the world. We get on there and we talk about all things gig work. We talk about what apps are popping and what's not doing so well, or new apps that come out. We listen to Faith tell us about how she once again got some free money from Amazon because they canceled her route, and we all commiserate about that. But it's a good place to get to know other people in the gig economy. You get to make some really good friends. Good place to vent sometimes when you need to. So be sure and join our Telegram group.
For sure. Also, I'm going to throw a link in the show notes, but we'd love you to sign up for the newsletter. You can find out when new episodes drops and so on and so forth. I know I'm giving you a lot of stuff to do. I just realized I probably should have just done one. It gets too complicated. So anyways, Faith, thank you so much for coming on. I know we kind of pulled it together last minute, but tell us a little bit about, real quick, your gig involvement when you started doing gig work, what gigs you do, if you do it full time, so on and so forth.
Okay, so I looked at my Uber account because it was definitely the first, and I joined Uber back in 2017.
Okay.
Not with the intention of being a rideshare driver. At the time, I was playing poker almost full time. And one of my friends had become a driver. He's a dealer at the casino. And he goes, you should sign up for Uber. And then when you drive to the casino every day to go play poker, you just pick up somebody, give them a ride, and it covers your gas money. And I was like, dang, that seems reasonable. So I did. And if I'm remembering correctly, rideshare back then didn't always tell you where you're going.
Correct.
Right.
So it didn't always work out. Like, I thought I was going toward the Strip to go play poker, and I ended up on the other side of Vegas. So that was pretty much the beginning and the end of my rideshare career.
One and done.
Fast forward to COVID, the casinos shut down. I'm no longer playing poker, no longer interested in playing poker. And after about a year of sitting around and doing nothing except day trading, I needed to get out of the house. So started doing some research, mostly on YouTube, into just whatever kind of gig apps were available, just to do something, get out of the house part-time. Got back on Uber, but this time for Uber Eats, and started doing DoorDash, mostly just around my neighborhood. And it was great because I'm at home alone for a year, locked in the house, to be able to get out, go to these restaurants, see how the neighborhoods have changed around Vegas. I found it really, really fun. DoorDash moved me into doing a bunch of shop and pay, and that's where I realized it was kind of my jam. It was just so much easier for me. It was cleaner than doing food delivery. It's less miles and it's better money. So I started moving toward more shopping orders, doing research on the internet. It's somewhere along the line found you guys, found some of the other rideshare podcasts and YouTube channels. Signed up for a dumpling store at the recommendation of Steve and those guys. I had a dumpling store about a year and a half. Shopping got me into Shipt and Spark. Shipt and Spark somehow got me on the trail to Amazon. Amazon got me on the trail to some other apps that were also one and done. One of them was GoPuff. I don't know if you guys have that there.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we know about GoPuff.
I did like
yeah,
one day
I've
of
done some
GoPuff and I was done. Instacart, I've been waitlisted 2 years. Can't get on. I know Gabe, that's his jam, but I've still never even been able to try. So nowadays, mostly Amazon in the mornings. It's guaranteed money. I go out super early, 3:15, 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock, and I'm done by 6. 6:30 when Walmart opens, I'll go hit the early morning Walmart orders. They usually pay extra and pay bonuses for those from like 6:30 to 8. And then at 8, I have my dumpling clients kind of scheduled, or if I don't have any dumpling clients, I'll do Spark. And after that, I'll go do a couple hours with my new gift baskets driver part-time job, 3 hours, 3 hours a day, 4 days a week. And by 1 o'clock, I'm done. So, the goal, make a couple $100 a day. And it really is multi-apping in the true sense of the word. Amazon, since August, has been a blessing. They switched from offering you shifts where they would pop up and you'd have to accept them to scheduling. So every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night, you go on, it lists what's available for the upcoming days and week. And you pick, and it's kind of like you're bidding on which hours you want to work. And for me, I found that if you take the latest ones in the group, so if there's 3, 3:15, 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock, I always sign up for 4 o'clock. And generally by 4 o'clock, they've run out of routes and I get a text to stay in bed and get paid. And it's been a blessing. It really has been a blessing. Some days I show up and there's no routes, which is fine. They scan your app and send you home. But quite a few, I wake up, check the phone, your route has been canceled, turn off the alarm and go back to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, and we give you flack because you actually had to get out of bed.
Yeah. Last week I had to get out of bed 3 days. But that's okay.
So you're about ready to go to bed then?
Yeah, I'm generally in bed by 8:30. Because
Oh, that's late though. Getting up that early to do an Amazon, although you haven't been getting up. I mean,
so
you've been going
Amazon
back to sleep.
I mean, generally I'm scheduled for 3:45 or 4. So I want to be up just before the 45 minutes before. You also need to remember, I live so close to Amazon. It's literally 6 minutes door to door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
nice.
shower the night before, go to bed, get up in the morning, see if you were canceled. If you weren't canceled, get dressed, throw a hat on and go. But it's really close.
My question for you then, you're scheduling these routes. Are they already surged or are you getting base rate?
No, they used to be base rate, but now they're better. They're about like the 3.5 hour. I'm going to check my calculator with the 3.5 hour. Our base rate here is 18. So base rate for a 3.5 hour is 63. And my route yesterday was 82.50. So 82.50, and I finished in 2 hours, is $41 an hour. I mean, they're good because you can finish them quick. You can finish them quick because it's 4 a.m. and there's no traffic. I mean, you're done before the school buses, before, like my other friends who also work that same early morning shift, they call it the stop sign optional shift.
Yeah.
Because you're literally just zipping through the neighborhoods and there's nobody else on the road. And I live in a very safe part of town. And because it's a .com, you're only delivering within 10, 15 miles of the warehouse. They're not sending you to the other parts of Vegas that could be pretty sketch.
That seems so cheap though. I don't take routes for less than $30 an hour. Now I don't schedule them.
We
I
don't
have
we
to
don't see routes. Well, if you go to the same day warehouse, you can see some surge for the early morning. But those are the ones that can send you anywhere in Vegas. It's not worth it for me. I'd rather just deliver in my neighborhood
Okay.
where I don't have to have my head on a swivel and, gunshots. I mean, every city's got its bad neighborhoods, obviously, and
Yeah.
Vegas is no different.
So have you had any bad experiences delivering at those hours? Because we've talked about, being out and being on people's porches and in their yards at that time of the morning. And
I'm going to say no, but it's different because I'm not in a rural community. Like if you think about a newer city, and Vegas is a very new city. If you think about in the cities where you live, if you think about the newest subdivisions that were just built, they're all cookie cutter. They all have really good street lights. I use my flashlight anyway, but because Vegas, the houses are so close together, I'm never walking up a very long driveway. I mean, it's literally some houses, the front door is 2 steps from the curb. I mean, it's very, and that's what makes it so easy to deliver.
Yeah.
They're just one after the next after the next.
Okay.
And the weather's generally always good.
Yeah. One other thing you mentioned dumpling. We haven't talked about that in a long time. So can you go over a little bit about what that is for people who aren't aware of that?
Dumpling is an app where you can set up your own private personal shopper business. And I got started by trying to poach customers from DoorDash. DoorDash does deliveries for my local grocery store. So I would either do shop and deliver or just pick up and deliver. And I would include a little flyer with my business information, explaining the benefits of having a personal shopper. And it's not for everybody, but a big part of my clients are seniors who can't, go out and shop. They can't carry a case of water, and water in Vegas obviously is a very big thing. And they appreciate having the same person shop for them every week who knows how they like their produce. They're not just going to throw their stuff on their front door. I'll bring it in and put their frozen stuff away or up in the cabinets, whatever they need. It's a personal service. Dumpling is a subscription. I believe it's like $29 a month. But what that gets me is the ability for all of my customers to place their orders for any store. So if they want me to go to Costco, they want me to go to the local grocery store, they want me to go to Target, they want me to go to Walmart, PetSmart, they're all on there. So they can go through the inventory, place their order. I can do multiple stores in one shop. And Dumpling also does a bit of marketing. If you go on the Dumpling website as a customer looking for a personal shopper, you put in your zip code and I will show up for this local area.
So how many customers do you have that are regulars?
Regulars, I would say a handful of really good ones, once or twice a week. I don't promote the business too much because I like to travel, and I feel terrible when somebody's counting on you and you got to be like, sorry, I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks. Good luck with Instacart,
Yeah. Wow.
So I intentionally didn't want to grow it too big. I had a couple friends who I thought could partner with me or help out, and they're all getting older and, their knees are falling apart, and, I just work harder than they do. So I'm intentionally keeping it small. No, it's true. It's true. Like one of my friends, she was a teacher and she just retired, and she's like, oh, I'd love to help you out anytime you need help shopping, da, da, da. And then, I was talking to her one day. She, wait, you actually carry all those cases of water? I'm like, oh God, yeah.
Just buy her a cart.
There you go.
I have a cart. Of course I have a cart. So it's been good, but I really slowed down on marketing. Like for a while, I was thinking about doing ads like through Facebook ads or even the Nextdoor, which is kind of the neighborhood app where people. And once I started getting inquiries, I just turned it off. I was like, wait,
Well, it's like having your own business. You can't just take off without a plan. Otherwise, you're going to lose business.
You're going to lose business, or people are going to get ignored. And I'd rather just have my handful, just like Shipped. I worked 1.5 years to build a client base of preferred customers, get to know my market. through all the hardships and taken all the no-tip orders. Now I know who the good ones are, and those are the only ones I shop. I
Right.
just don't gamble on new customers for $6 to,
Oh,
shop and deliver for 40 minutes. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
I don't know how people make any money getting into ship now. I'm like, I don't know how you make money, because I'm a ship shopper too, and I've seen it go down and down and down, and I haven't done it in years, probably since COVID.
Yeah.
But
You just have to work it. And now, I'll turn it on when they're having a bonus, and I'll only take orders from preferreds, or if the order pops up, you can click the address, and I have a tip map in Google. So every delivery I've ever done, there's notes on that address, how much they
Nice.
ordered and how much they
Yeah,
tipped.
that's the way to do it.
So before you accept it, you can see, oh, this person tipped 20%, accept.
Cool.
Oh, this person was a no tipper, decline.
Yeah. Well, I'm really like excited that how organized you are, and you're treating it like a business, and like we have always
It
said.
is a business. Yeah.
Well, it is, but I probably don't treat it as a business because it's not my main source of income. But like, if you are doing it as your main source of income, like you and Gabe and stuff like that, you gotta know what the hell you're doing. Otherwise, you're just gonna spin in circles, and you're gonna be like, why am I not making any money? Well, you're not paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's not for
like
everybody.
most things in life, you get out what you put in.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Shipped is not DoorDash, where you can just, here's the offer and here's what it's going to pay, or even Uber Eats. I mean, at least they're more transparent about what it's going to pay. It's not like that at all. It's going to show you a base rate, and you have the tools to learn, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take at least a year of shopping a lot. I mean, I'm over 1,000 and like about 1,200 orders on Shipt.
Oh, wow.
And probably 500 of those were no tippers. But you know how I found out? I shopped, I delivered it, and they didn't tip.
Yeah. Damn. Do you get
That's
like
it,
at 1,000? Don't you get like some sort of like perk or something, or they send you some swag or?
They send you a $30 credit to the Shipt store, which I use to get 2 new insulated bags, not even the big catering ones, just standard size bags, and a hat, and a little pin. The pin was free, and I think some stickers maybe.
Okay.
Like,
wow.
I don't know. Yeah.
That shit probably cost them like $6 to make,
Yeah.
No, it cost them like 16 cents in China. The $6 was for shipping.
Yeah, true.
No doubt.
Well, that's cool. I really like your story. I like how you manage things. Yeah, maybe sometime we could dive in a little bit deeper.
New gig, delivering gift baskets to the Strip.
Yeah, but that's a W-2 though, right?
Business. No, I'm an independent contractor.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
I don't work for them. They hire me to do their deliveries. I found them because I did a Spark order from Sam's Club, delivering to them.
Okay.
And met the owner when I was delivering. I said, do you have any openings for drivers coming up, busy season, holiday season? She goes, actually, we do. I sent her my information. She interviewed me the next week and hired me a few days later.
So you're 1099, but are you paid like per delivery or per hour?
I'm paid per hour, but I use their van, their gas.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm making a couple dollars less per hour than I average doing the rest of my work. But much like Amazon, it's guaranteed pay, and it's 10 to 1, which is the slowest time for shopping, for food. I mean, 10 to 1 is just dead time.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for me to just work 3 hours and guaranteed money 4 days a week.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, that's what we always say. You do a good job not putting all your eggs in one basket.
For sure.
Yeah. Are you going to dabble with the UPS at all? I know you've gone back and forth because the app was all messed up, and then they called you, and then are we back off again?
So I'm scheduled for orientation next Tuesday.
Okay.
But what I told myself was I'm going to try this gift baskets for 2 weeks. And if I like it, I'm going to stick with it, because I really do think it's something that is not going to be seasonal. I think they're going to keep me all year round.
Okay.
UPS is definitely a seasonal job. It's 6 weeks. And it's probably a lot more hours in work than I can really commit to this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the tough part, right? As a gig worker, it's so hard to be like, oh, like I don't want to commit to to 4 days a week, and then you just what happens if you got a dumpling order and you're like, this shit's gonna pay me triple what I would make on this little shift, delivering stuff.
I've told my dumpling customers now, who I was delivering like on Thursdays and Fridays, maybe at 11, that I needed to move them earlier or later. They totally understood. Actually, I used 2 of them as references to get this delivery job.
Nice.
So they're completely understanding. But what I found this week, all of a sudden the catering apps are blowing up.
Okay.
And every single one of them are for lunchtime, and that's what I'm doing the gift baskets. So
That's Murphy's Law. That's Murphy's Law.
No doubt.
that thing didn't ring for a month, and now it's blowing up.
Damn it.
That's my
Well,
story.
even if you don't, even if it doesn't carry on to the year, at least he would have you back, during peak time. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's always something nice to have just in case.
Yeah, something to fall back
Nice
on.
to have. And they're literally down the street also. They're on the way to Amazon, right next to the Las Vegas Raiders practice facility is their little office. I mean, it's a neighborhood business. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to jump into stories from the road. Larry says average Halloween.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the big surge that we've been seeing, but it went away. There were some little ones. I think the highest I got was maybe like 650, but I mean, it was still a good night, still a good night. And I'm not complaining by any means. And considering we got nothing in the past, but the big thing was people leaving items in my car 3 times. I haven't had anybody leave anything in my car. So drop these girls off to get out. I pull away, phone rings right away. I left my keys. She's like, I left my keys in the passenger side on my door. It's got a little pocket there in the door. She put her keys in there. I'm like, why would you? You're not going to remember those. You're not going to remember. So anyway, I was like, I'm on my way to do a ride. As soon as I get done, I'll bring them back to you. She's like, all right. And so pick up these other girls, drop them off. As soon as I pull away again, get a message on my Instagram because we'd done a picture. So they DM me on Instagram. She's like, I left my purse in your car. Look back in the back. Sure enough, little red purse in the back of my car. So I send her a message. I was like, as soon as I take these girls' keys back, I'll come back and bring you back your purse. Right? So anyway, do all that. Anyway, and then later in the night, I look back and it's one of those things. I mean, we all, I've thought about it plenty of times before, and we take precautions on how to protect ourselves, but we don't talk about what those are. But turned around and looked in the back, and there's a gun laying in my back seat.
No
gun laying. Hold on, laying in my back seat. So, it plays mind games with you, right? Right. Yeah. So you're sitting there driving, you're thinking, you're like driving. You're pretty defenseless, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, at any time during this ride, whoever this was, they could have pulled this gun out, and they could have squirted me and got me soaking wet. So yeah, somebody in a costume. I don't know what costume it was, what they were, but yeah, left the water gun in my car.
All right,
damn it, Larry! You had me, son of a bitch! I didn't even catch it. I was like, you almost sounded like you were like choking up a little bit, like
it's called acting. I was like, it's called showmanship.
Damn. That's so good. Oh my
gosh. 3 items in my car in one night. So yeah, one of them Venmo'd me. The girl with the keys gave me $20. So
okay.
The other girl with the purse, oh, here, let me get your Venmo. I'll send you $20. I waited. I gave her a whole day and she didn't. So I turned it in and got my $20 through the app.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to ask you, did you double dip on the other?
No,
girl,
I don't
do that either. That's unless they're, remember we had a couple of stories where, remember the iPad guy?
Yeah.
Oh God, that was a while ago, but like I would definitely, well, he wasn't giving a tip either way. So
exactly. So yeah, it depends on their attitude.
Yeah.
They pay for a bad attitude.
I thought you were going to say you went back in there and rated her 1 star.
No, I didn't rate anybody anything less than a 5 in a while. I don't think.
You still have the squirt gun, so you didn't return it. You didn't get $20, nothing.
Nobody claimed it, so nobody claimed it. I had no idea who dropped it, so or I would have turned it in as a lost item. But yeah, I had no idea what costume or what person had it. There's no telling.
Yeah.
Shit. Crazy.
So I actually had a story on Flex. It's about a dog, which I'm sure Faith, well, maybe doesn't run into too much because she's delivering in the middle of the night. But
And it's
I
too hot
was,
during the day.
yeah, I was doing a 6:15 route, so 6:15 a.m. But this was probably just at dawn, and I was just going up to the house, no note about a dog. And I get out of the car and I see one on a leash, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I love dogs. Like
sure.
they don't bother me at all. And then I see one not on a leash, big fat yellow lab, and hair's standing up and it's barking. And the lady comes out and she's like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh no, it's totally. She goes, I forgot I was getting a package. I'm like, why'd you pick the time slot you did then? Jeez. So, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, it's okay. I started walking and she's like, no, do not walk any closer. So she's trying to grab him and he's got no collar on.
Oh, yeah.
So when so I was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up, so she was trying to hold, this all happened within like 15 seconds, right?
Sure.
You know, I'm explaining it, but so I throw the package to try to get the dog to come off. I mean, we're like 3 feet away. She's standing in between us. And so I throw the package. That doesn't phase him. He's still coming. Finally, I looked him right in the eye. I'm like, get back. I mean, top of my lungs, and a neighbor, I'm like, get back, like that. And he backed off enough that I had enough time to quick get in my car.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. I'm just listening to my podcast, trying to have a good morning, drinking my coffee, and this dog went to rip my nuts off.
That'll wake you up, man. That'll wake you up.
I know. I rarely have problems with dogs. I don't know if I just love them, so I'm always talking to them like my dog's like a baby. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this big boy, and they're all like, happy. But that one wanted to eat my face.
Yep, you run into those every now and then.
Yeah. I've never
gotten. You said it was a
bit.
lab? That's unusual for a lab.
Yeah, labs are
lab.
usually very friendly.
Yeah,
very friendly.
Not this one, but yeah, I would kind of, if she would have had a collar on it, I'd be less worried about it.
Yeah, something to grab on. You can't. Yeah, if you ain't got a collar on there, what's she gonna do?
She's like grabbing it. I'm like, grab his fat. No, I didn't say that. Like, grab his neck fat. Just squeeze it. But clearly, I put on the notes, aggressive dog here. Please be careful in delivering, so no one else has experience it.
For sure.
But, so that got my heart rate up. I'm like, okay, time to go home.
Yeah, I don't see dogs, and even when I do afternoon routes, it's so hot here 8 months out of the year. Dogs aren't outside. People keep them in their house.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
But I do, for the customers that don't put the PIN number for the gates.
Yeah.
Once I get through and I get to their house to deliver the package, I'll drop the box really loud if it says there's a dog, just to wake the dog up so it wakes the house
There you
up.
go.
I always try to wake the dogs up for the customers I'm not happy with.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. Oh God, I try to do the opposite. I don't want that dog barking, somebody coming to the door at 5 a.m. in their underwear.
If I had to spend 4 minutes figuring how to get through the gate, they're gonna wake up.
There you go.
So when you're talking about a gate, is it a gated community?
Yeah, 90% of Vegas communities that I deliver to are all gated.
Really?
And 1 out of 6 or 7 doesn't put the code in the notes. So I mean, there's ways to get in, but you can't call the customer. I mean, it's 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
You're not going to call. You can't text. A lot of times, if you look on the call box, the FedEx or UPS or other Amazon drivers have written the code in a Sharpie. Like if you
that's
look
real
on the
safe.
if you look on the top, you kind of
you got to look on the top.
You got to look on the top or underneath. So I'm out there with my flashlight trying to see. A lot of them are like painted brown, and they'll put it in Sharpie, like in a black Sharpie, or they'll scrap it into the metal.
Yeah. You can always try 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6, 7, 8, 9. A lot of times that'll get you in too.
And
I was gonna say, you record everything else down. Start recording gate codes down.
I have started a journal.
You have?
Of
okay.
Neighborhood gate codes. I have started a journal, and my other friend who also delivers the same neighborhood, he's going along and starting a journal. And in about a month, we're just going to sit down and put it all in Excel and have it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah, real quick before we go into the news, I remembered the one question I wanted to ask about the Amazon routes. So why do you think they're running out of routes? Is because they're just pre-scheduling it? Like our routes are based on volume, and I very rarely get called off. I mean, I bet this year I've gotten called off twice.
Yeah, I think it's because they pre-schedule, and this is for a .com warehouse. It's not for same day.
Well, ours is
So,
.com too.
so by by Sunday, I have the entire next week planned out. So I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4:00, 3:30. I've got the whole schedule done. So if
Yeah.
I do, for example, the other morning I got sent home, 17 of us got sent home.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of free.
They're
So
just
I just don't,
burning dollar
yeah,
bills.
I don't think there's any way that Amazon. So I think it's just a matter of overscheduling and
Yeah.
planning too far ahead. It used to be different when you'd have to push the button every night to get a shift for the next day. I never ever got overbooked.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it's weird because Jeff Bezos always talked about how expensive it was for him to have flex driver. It's the most expensive last mile part of his delivery because, if you're a DSP, the guy's making $18 an hour and he's delivering 40 packages an hour. You know what I mean? But, you're making, $80-$90 for a 3-hour block and you deliver 40 packages. I mean, that's he's just losing money. So I can't believe they haven't figured it out and been like, yo, we gotta stop doing
with
this.
As many packages as they deliver every day. You would think they would have it somewhat figured out, or better than that. I mean, 17 is a lot. And that's just, that's just that one place. Think of how many warehouses they have all over the place.
I would say an average number of cars getting sent home when I'm getting sent home when I have to show up is normally a handful, 5 or 6. Because like 15 cars go in at 3:30, and then 15 more cars at 3:45, and then 15 more at 4:00. 10 of them get a block, and 5 or 6 of them get sent home.
Yeah.
That's more normal. But the amount of people who now don't even have to show up, it just shows up in your app. Your route's been canceled, no fault of your own. I mean, 3-4 times a week? That's insane. Shh, don't tell them.
Well, I mean, and honestly, if you're getting that even at 80 some odd dollars, I mean, if you're getting 2 to 3 times a week for free, $80 is no big deal. But for me, we're not driving the low miles that you are. When we get stuff, we're doing 150 mile routes.
I never do more than 25 or 30 a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's 45 packages average, 30 miles.
Yeah, you got to get 30. I mean, I need $30 an hour to justify driving 150 miles.
Yeah, sure.
And you'd believe the people that take them at base and them knowing that they could drive 150. I mean, you could be an hour from the warehouse just to get to your first stop.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So $30 an hour is like my minimum. I won't do it for that. I'd rather do something else than just spin my wheels, literally.
Absolutely.
So transitioning on to gig economy in the news, I saw this and I'm like, holy shit. So this is in Australia, 1 hour and 90 minutes to the first stop, 74 stops, 75 locations, 83 packages. Now to me, that looks like a flex worker and it's in a flex thing. I don't think it's a DSP because while they use the same app, I don't know. I mean, maybe it is. No, because DSP would be a lot more packages, but I just couldn't believe. I wonder what our route is. I never comment on it. So when we bitch about 40 packages that we have to get, or they start creeping up to 45, I guess it's not that bad. But yeah, I was surprised how many. God, that would. How do you even fit that in? No, don't say it.
Maybe it's all envelopes.
Yeah, it could be. Larry's thinking about it. That went right over Faith's head.
That's what she said.
But yeah, I don't know how many you would be able to get in there unless it is a DSP, but I don't think so. This definitely looks like the Flex app.
Yeah, that's a lot of packages.
Right. All right, Larry. Uber suggests NYC payers cuts and bid to woo riders.
Yeah, so Uber is wanting the commission in New York City to lower the prices, the amount they're paying the drivers there, because as we know, they've got different rules than most of the city, and they get a guaranteed amount. So they're asking the commission to reduce the per mile rate in its driver pay formula from $1.36 down to $1.27 because gas prices are going down. They also are suggesting that they cap future inflation-related adjustments at 3% or peg it to the average rate reflected by the consumer price index, whichever is lower, of course.
Of course.
This said, Uber said in its letter that the reduction aims to ensure that riders can continue to afford trips. They argue that the reduced costs would encourage rider demand and offset the impact of reduced base pay on drivers' income. So they're saying you're going to make less, but you're going to have more rides.
Yeah, they always
say that. But they did give us that huge increase when gas was so expensive, right? Uber, remember?
Yeah.
What was it at, like 5 cents?
It was
the ride.
No, it was more. It was like it wasn't it like 50 cents a day or something.
It wasn't enough to make any impact that we even remember what it was.
Hey, we got to give a compliment to Miguel, a $2 super chat. I don't have problems fitting it in.
Thanks, Miguel.
He forgot one letter, but I'll fill it in for him. Thanks, Miguel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So give me the layman's term, because that was a lot of words for that.
Hold on.
Of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
like
so
they're
basically, they use a formula up there to determine how much they pay the drivers per hour because they get paid an hourly rate. So Uber is asking the commission to lower the driver, how much the driver gets paid per hour in its formula.
Okay.
Basically.
Gotcha.
Because gas is cheaper.
It hasn't gone down that much. I mean, like 40 cents maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking New York for you, though.
That's Uber for you.
Well, that's Uber too. They're all in cahoots.
They are
together.
It's like 3 of my stories tonight, I think, deal with New York City.
Yeah, there you go. I gave you all the good ones. So this, speaking of DSP, this is from a DSP right here. He basically ran a red light. So attention drivers, as of today, Amazon has launched a new safety update. If a driver goes through a red light, it will automatically trigger a notification to safely pull over and park. Contact your DSP and you will be blocked in the Flex app from making any more deliveries. Additionally, you'll receive I don't know what this is, ORCA training. Failure to complete the assigned training will lead to the driver becoming inactivated and then ineligible to deliver for Amazon. So in short, they don't want any red lights. I'd be fired by now, I'll be honest with you. We don't have dash cams in the bus that go out. They're all inside. But if they did and they did pull it, a lot of my lights are pink. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to stop that big ass bus. But that is so strict. Like literally it triggers it and you have to pull over. And then, I mean, doesn't that seem crazy? And what I see here is these Amazon DSPs are driving around my neighborhood, the fucking door open, the slider door open. So I don't know where they're so strict on safety because it sure ain't here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I belong to the DSP driver Reddit group. Okay. And some of the stories these guys tell, the cameras will sense your eyes. And if you take your eyes off the road while you're driving, like to look at your phone, then you'll get a write-up for that. A bunch of them said they use mirrored sunglasses just to so the cameras can't watch their eyeballs. I've heard some crazy stories from regular DSP drivers.
Yeah. So how are you supposed to see your GPS if you look down? You got to see your phone.
It's mounted. It's mounted like over here, over there.
Oh, okay. Wow. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've heard crazy strict.
Yeah, I don't mind being on camera in the bus, but like I can't have it like Big Brother, like you're talking to me every time, oh, you forgot you brake too soon or you brake too late, you ran the light, you didn't use your blinker. Like, I mean, I use my blinker, but I'm just, we all make simple mistakes when we drive.
It happens.
But you're a school bus driver. That's different than Amazon.
Yeah. Well, we should be safer, right?
Safety standards should be a bit higher for somebody in your position.
Are you kidding? Those buses are tanks. You can drive those things through fucking Sears and you come out the other end. The kids would be like, let's do it again.
So last week, I'm doing a dumpling delivery to one of my regular clients. And I always text her when I'm going through the security gate because it's a gated community with a guard. You have to sign in, blah, blah, blah. So she knows I'm almost there and she'll, be ready to meet me. So she meets me at the door and she's like, I'm really, really sorry, but I have to give this to you. And I'm like, oh shit. She hands me a paper. It's a speeding violation. The cameras in her neighborhood,
What?
they have the little solar cameras that say
Yeah.
speed limit 25, your
Mhm.
speed, whatever. She said the HOA, and because I'm tied to her, because when they scan my driver's license when I come through, they know I'm going to visit her.
So they give her the ticket.
They took a picture of my car twice.
Oh,
and the miles per hour. She says they told me I have to present this to you and ask you to please be more careful speeding through our neighborhood. And I look at it, I was doing 31 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
I said, but I was going 31. And she goes, I know. And I'm like, but I was going 31 and a 25. And I got a written warning from her HOA as a visitor.
You speed racer, you. Oh my gosh, 31. You're going to kill somebody.
And I'm thinking, I've delivered that neighborhood for Amazon at like 5 a.m, doing like 45, 50 through some of those streets. Not a word.
Don't say that.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy.
HOAs
I
are
hate
like
HOAs.
the devil's pawn.
I hate them.
I would never live in one.
Do not like them. Not a fan.
Not a fan. No, they're a bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
Moving on, here's the EMT story. I briefly read this and was kind of shocked.
Yeah, it says it says they save New Yorkers' lives, but might be better off driving for Uber. Big Apple Uber drivers who work 32 hours a week for 50 weeks a year netted $52,900 on average, according to an October report. That figure dwarfs the base annual salary of $39,386 for a city's first-year EMT. Said despite spending hundreds of hours learning life-saving medical skills, including training to perform emergency bursts, manage fractures, and conduct trauma assessments, EMTs can expect to work 5 years before they'll bring in a maximum base salary of $59,534 plus benefits.
In New York?
Now, New York is so expensive. Oh my gosh. So it says the union leadership says
you can't live on either of those.
Union leadership says that the low pay has driven ambulance workers to leave for other city jobs or for the private sector. One of the local representatives says, I have friends who left this job to do Instacart, to do Uber, to do Lyft. We save thousands of lives every year, and the starting salary is $19 an hour. How do you expect people to survive on that? Yeah, that's pretty sad.
You can't live in the city.
No, you can live in behind a dumpster in the city, maybe.
If that.
Yeah, New York. I mean, it costs you arm and a leg just to drive into the city.
So I wonder, I don't know if it said it, are the EMTs aren't, it's a privatized company, right? They're not city workers where they have a union.
It does not say.
Because the fire, because the EMTs, at least in our city in Grand Rapids, like fire.
No, they are part of the city fire department.
Well, then that's embarrassing because you need a better union representation because $19 an hour. Yeah. I mean, you should be getting paid in 1980.
Yeah. So this representative says he and his colleagues who are part of the city fire department are seeking pay parity with other uniformed services, which Mayor Adams promised during his 2021 campaign, but so far has failed to deliver.
I mean, I know EMTs aren't paramedics. I do get that. So they can't do as much, but you're still, that is a tough job. You're dealing with the worst of the worst. You're walking into these apartments where there's, trash on the floor for 6 months and, granny had a heart attack. Nah.
So this is funny.
Blood is the worst of your problem.
What about like all the overdoses, all of the,
Yeah. So this comment's funny. At the end of the story says the mayor's office referred a request for comment about the EMT pay to the TLC spokesman, Jason Kirsten, who said, working for Uber hasn't exactly been a reliable gig lately, citing the rideshare drivers' lockouts.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, nobody's winning in New York City.
Nobody's winning in that country or that state for sure. Oh, man. All right, moving on. DoorDash and Lyft partner to unlock benefits, and this is kind of cool. I mean, I don't use either of these platforms very often, but DoorDash and Lyft announced a partnership to offer benefits on both rides and local delivery. Starting October 30, DashPass members and Lyft riders can receive exclusive. I love they use that word too freely on stuff. Yep. monthly benefits to save on both services, including 5% off on-demand Lyft rides, which I assume that means like during busy times, and 10% off scheduled airport rides up to 4 per month, which ain't bad. 2 priority pickup upgrades per month. So, you're getting a discount and you can bump it up because Lyft has like priority, standard. If you want to wait 3 hours, there's a couple different tiers. And then you get a 3-month free Dash Pass trial for new members. So I think it's cool. Also, if you link your account, let's see, Dash Pass members and Lyft riders who link their accounts by December 31, 2024 will also receive an upgraded perk of 50% off 4 scheduled airport rides. Man, they're like giving money away through the end of the year. Well, don't do it on December 31st because then you got nothing. Up to $25 per ride, as well as 50% off 1 DoorDash order up to $10. So kind of cool. I don't understand though, like why Lyft and stuff. Why are they? I don't know. Are they just grasping at straw? I mean, I guess Uber kind of does those pairings too. It's just,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it's always. I think it's always interesting to see, that these companies kind of team up together, pair up together. They're both just hoping to kind of, leech off the other person or the other company's customers,
I mean, hey, we did it with, legal rideshare. Yeah. It's like a promo swap.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean?
I think this is Lyft and DoorDash's way to combat Uber. Like Uber's doing both. Yeah. Lyft never wants to do food delivery, and DoorDash never wants to do rideshare. So why not partner with each other to try to combat Uber,
exactly.
which is doing
I wish Lyft would. I don't know why they just. I mean, I just don't know why they won't. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just that's not something they've ever wanted to get into. Maybe at some point they may have to try, but by that point, it could be too late. Yeah, I mean,
well, that's the thing. I think after the fact, when they go under, they're like, you know what? We were thinking about doing food delivery, but we should have pulled the trigger.
But
no shit.
In the same way, though, I can remember us bitching about Uber getting into everything. We're like, they're trying to do air taxis. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. Man, they just need to stop and focus on rideshare.
Well, rideshare and food. Like, I don't think food's out of the realm. Sure. But you're right. We did bitch about them.
Well,
Uber Camel.
Yeah, they were into everything.
Well, I mean, if Lyft was going to do it, COVID, all the restaurant shutdowns, delivery only, takeout only, that would have been the time. That was the prime time to jump in. And
well, that's, I guess we talking about, the driverless cars and stuff like that. We're on the verge of that in the next 10 years. I know they've been saying that, but I really truly believe it's now, less than 10 years out. You better come up with a plan because you're about, I mean, again, not in everywhere, not in Grand Rapids in the winter. We've talked about it's not going to happen. I say that I'll be dead before that happens. It's just
Just be killed by a Waymo.
Yeah, in the winter.
In the winter. Yeah.
It slid on some ice and it run my ass over. There you go. Gotcha.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Miguel, what winter?
Yeah.
We're not even into the winter months yet. It's not, we're fine. We're still in fall.
Okay. So my third story of the night that deals with New York or somebody from New York. So this talks about an Uber passenger. I think we did this story a while back when it happened.
We did. We played the video. Yeah, remember that lady?
I watched the video again tonight just to refresh myself.
And her friend's like, Jennifer,
yeah, she's like, Jen, what are you doing? So anyway, yeah, just to give you the backstory on the video, 2 ladies riding in the back of a Uber. And this lady, she must have been drunk because she kind of looks like she's just out of it. And no provocation. She leans up in the front seat, sprays pepper spray in the Uber driver's eyes, just out of the blue. And her friends going, Jen, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And it sounds like, and the driver said that the girl responded because he's brown. Now, he was Middle Eastern, I believe. But anyway, so
did it occur to her that he's the guy operating the vehicle?
I think they
now
were
you're blinding
stopped.
Just say,
I think they were at a red light.
I don't think much occurred to her at that moment.
No, not a whole lot. The lights were not on back there.
Oh, they were on. They were just filled with alcohol.
They were floating back there. So so she was charged with a hate crime for pepper spraying a Muslim driver in Manhattan. She's a former sorority girl, surprise, surprise, who was fired from her PR job after the shocking incident. She's a Manhattan College graduate, Jennifer, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, Gilbolt. She was 23, had just started a promising career at a New York public relations firm when she was caught on dash cam, springing forward to spray her rideshare driver back in July, horrifying her pal who was with her. Her employer, Deep Pagan Communications, fired her over the incident. The agency president confirmed to PR Weekly that she had left the firm without saying exactly when she had left. We're aware of the actions of this former employee. We don't condone this behavior. It is a weird video to watch because obviously we didn't see anything before it, but I mean, the driver even said like nothing happened, and you can tell from the reaction of her friend, it was out of the blue. She's like screaming, "What are you doing? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?"
Well, here's the problem. Alcohol really brings out your true person.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It kind of does. I have people in my life that when they drink alcohol, they are a psychopath, and they're not the greatest without alcohol, but it just kind of, you know what I mean? And it's just, I just feel it affects people. So unfortunately, she said that and she lost her shit for whatever reason. But and she's fucked because the internet's forever.
Oh, yeah.
Like in 20 years, they'll Google her name and that shit will pop up.
Yeah, you need to.
This article will pop up.
You have to change your name.
Yeah.
Well, the funniest part too, Larry, if you look at the very last line, the company she got fired
from
specializes
for
in
tech
PR.
companies. Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I forgot about that. Yeah, PR for tech companies.
That's embarrassing.
Yes.
And you know what? It's sad because she's 23 and it's just like, I don't feel it's sad for her. It's just like, why did you do that? Who raised you that way? Like, it's just, the whole thing is just shit. And what I'm really excited about personally and selfishly is that we got follow-up on a story. No one in the news never ever follows up on shit unless it's like, like a big murder or something, like a national story where you'll hear it for 6 months or something.
Right,
but I know I saw that article. I was like, oh shit, we talked about that.
This never happens. Follow up.
Yeah, it never happened. So, all right, I'm going to do this picture that Gabe sent, and then I want to do that TikTok video, the Amazon worker. I thought that was kind of funny. Let's see. Let's put this up here real quick. Oh, I cannot read that. I'm going to have to go in the doc. So it's a note from somewhere. So as attention DoorDash drivers, always bring your delivery bag into the store. It's in my car, like in quotes. How much sense does it make to not take the pizza off our heat rack outside to the cold? None. We will not hand you our product unless you have a bag to directly put the hot pizza in. Hand every order directly to the customer. Contact deliveries are a thing of the past. The temperature outside is cold. Or maybe contactless.
I think they meant contactless or non-contact deliveries.
The temperature outside is cold. No one wants their order left on the porch. Be presentable. Clean clothes, hair pulled back, clean car, no children. Don't show up in your pajamas or dirty clothes. No one wants their food delivered by someone they would not trust in their kitchen. Do not send your children in order to deliver the order. Delivery pickup person should be the person on the license connected to the account. Yes, we can see. We're excited to have DoorDash help. Drivers help deliver our products, but every driver is expected to adhere to Papa John's employee standards. This means if you wouldn't hire you as an employee, why would we pay to have you deliver our product? As a marketplace affiliate with DoorDash, we do have the expectation to hold drivers accountable to DoorDash employee guidelines. Wow, this is a lot of words. We can and do ban drivers for not following our guidelines. We review our delivery to make sure it was not left on the porch and blah, blah, blah. So
I was going to ask you if that was Papa John's, because the Papa John's here would have a very similar posting definitely about the pizza bag, definitely about ring the doorbell. But what's interesting is you'll learn Papa John's also does their own deliveries. They farm out the ones to DoorDash that have a low tip or they're really far. The good orders they do for themselves.
Of course. Yep. Of course. I think most everyone is on some sort of delivery platform except maybe Domino's. I don't think Domino's is. I think they still do all theirs. But I mean, some of this.
I thought I heard they were
It's possible. We may have even talked about it. Like I said, once I turn this mic off after the show, I don't remember shit.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
So basically, this story just tells you don't deliver if it comes up Papa John's. Just go on to something else.
Well, I get the bag. I'll be honest with you, and people shit on me. I stopped using the bag. It's just like I don't know why. I just did. I never got a complaint. No, I mean it's not like I'm double tripling up orders. I'm grabbing the order. I'm literally driving straight there. I mean, if it required it and it was a good tip
for pizza, because pizzas would stink the car up so much more than other food.
Oh, they do.
I'm happy to put a pizza in a pizza bag just to keep the whole car from smelling like
I delivered pizza for Jets for 5 years in bags. The smell never went away. It always was in there. So the bags don't help. I mean, maybe a little, but hand every order directly to the customer. So it's funny. Panera has these same rules too, but you can fucking bypass it. Yeah. You can just, you're supposed to call them. You just hit call and then you hit end and then
right.
Yeah. You can bullshit your way through it. I'm like, I'm not talking to this person if they don't want it. Yeah. Like, I'm just going to deliver it. I'll knock on the door. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I mean, obviously if it says the customer specifically requested contact with me, I will do it. But Panera just does that because they're pricks. You know what I mean? They want a better service. Well, you shouldn't have fired all your delivery drivers and slummed out to DoorDash. Be presentable. I mean, I think that's a general statement in life. I don't really care though if my driver shows up with his pajamas on. I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna eat my food. Like I don't know. Maybe other people. And no offense. Like if you want all this, I'm not mad at you. I get it, but yeah. Don't pick up for Papa John's. Apparently, it's trash pizza. Anyways, if Pete was in here, he'd be like kicking my ass. Papa John's is the worst pizza out there. I'll be honest with you. Opinions?
I disagree.
There's no flavor in the sauce. It's flavorless.
It's not the worst.
What's the worst?
CC's.
Well, you might not. Okay, CC's isn't great. I've had CC's before, but. All right. This last one is just, we always talk about bad shit. You know what I mean? And this TikTok video is pretty funny. It's about a driver that gets asked to come in the house to try some sourdough bread.
What?
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You do. Hey, you want a piece of bread?
No, I got my piece of bread already.
It's a s'more bread. My wife made it. It's fresh sourdough. If you want some, I'll cut you a piece.
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'll give you a slice, Tom. Here's some. Don't worry. Come on. Yeah, she made it today. Pretty good.
Says when your wife's sourdough is so good, you have to share it with a driver. I absolutely love that. I would go. I mean, as long as the house looked presentable, like if I delivered it and there was like dirty diapers on the porch and he invited me in, that's gonna be a hard pass from Jason, because we've all well, Faith doesn't, she delivers in the Richie Rich, but I go into properties of land that has a trailer on it that has a 2-mile driveway that you probably have guns mounted somewhere. Like, I'm not going in that house. But if it was a normal house, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm getting some sourdough bread.
Yeah. S'more flavor.
Oh, I've never even had that. I want it right now.
Yeah.
I've seen houses that have mini fridges plugged on their porch with signs for delivery drivers, and there's cold drinks and there's snacks in there. Because I mean, same thing. It's so hot here in the summers. You can't even leave, chocolate. Forget about it. I saw one house that had little bags of like granola bars or peanuts as snacks for delivery drivers, and the birds and the squirrels had scattered them across the whole floor.
Yeah, we're gonna need to secure these with a lid.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to deliver out there in that heat. What y'all get up to out there? 115.
We were 118 in June this year for like 12 days.
But it's a dry heat, right? It's a dry.
Oh yeah,
that's what everybody says.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, stick your head in the oven. That's a dry heat too.
Oven, yeah.
I want to feel what that's. I mean, I know what heat is like, but I can't imagine like walking from my my front door to my, let's say, just going, like you said, your mailbox is not right by your house or whatever, so you got to walk down a couple blocks.
I drive.
I wonder how bad that would be.
I drive everywhere. Well, the difference too is it never rains here, so it's not just hot. The sun is beating on you all the time, and keeping your car cool is impossible. I mean, I had to tint the front windshield with like an 80% heat resistant. Yeah. Because even going into a grocery store or a Target to shop for 15, 20 minutes, none of the parking garages are covered. You come back out to your car and it is, hundreds of degrees in the car. You can't even hold the steering wheel. It's just brutal. You got to get yourself an EV where you just leave it running. It doesn't even waste gas, and it's nice and cool. Nice and cool. It honestly is. I mean, I do that all the time. I'll on my like in the summers, because those buses aren't air conditioned. Like it'll get up over 100 degrees in the bus, and I'm not in there for hours and hours. But on my last stop, I'll get on my phone on my app and I'll start my car because I have it all preset for cool, and then it just runs. And when I get there, I just hop in and it's ice cold. We don't have the temps you do, but man, if you have an EV out there, it's a game changer. So.
Aren't you high-tech rednecks?
Redneck? I'm not, just because I'm from the north, I'm not a redneck. You got an accent, bro. Like, I'm not a redneck. I have high-speed internet most of the time.
I can't imagine. 118, your soles of your shoes just be melting walking across the parking lot. That's got to be brutal.
In Arizona, they have a different kind of pavement, like a coating over the top of the pavement at the bus stops, because the cement is so hot and people have to stand there for the bus. Their shoes will melt.
Yeah, I believe it.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is. Don't come to the north. Stay where you are. We like our Michigan. I'll keep my winter. I'm fine with that. That's totally fine. So, well, thank you guys so much for listening to the show. The comments, Miguel, thanks for the $1.99. Appreciate it. Everyone else that commented, appreciate it. Faith, thanks for coming on. Don't leave once I end this. And anything else, Larry?
Yeah, just don't leave your pew-pews in your driver's car.
Yeah, make sure you secure that in a holster appropriately. So that would be great.
With the safety on.
Yeah. Rick says McDonald's smell is still the same it was in 1967 when I worked there. Oh, yeah. McDonald's smells in your car, too. If I pick up McDonald's for the kids and then go inside and eat it, and then in the morning go to work, you can still smell the McDonald's in there.
Yeah.
So true.
Most food's that way. Indian food.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Indian food's heavy.
Yeah. All right. As always, don't put up with anyone's bullshit.
And we'll see you on the road.
This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com.